Welcome to the Honest Wargamer. This is Chrimbobo. Just obviously, we want to thank everyone on Patreon, all the subscribers. We're showing you something a bit different in this game. So rather than being the top table, we're showing you table 17. So this basically will show you a good example of the passion and enthusiasm and the fun side of Chrimbobo. So we got Paul Haley and Seb Donnelly, both bringing Idylith Deepkin with lots of sharks. I believe they've got quite a few of the sharks, which, from what I've gathered from the kind of competitive scene, aren't that great. But they are both dressed in shark onesies, as you can see on the stream. And they're against a Cities of Sigmar army, and combined with Daughters of Cain, which is quite a cool-looking, pretty list. So here we have Seb Donnelly. He may have done a few drinking games in between rounds, so he's a little bit merry. A few apple juices. So Seb, how is the event coming along for you? Are you enjoying it? Has it been fun?
So Chrimbobo as itself, as an event, is sublime, for sure. How we're performing is a little less than anticipated, but we are running 8 sharks. So
you're 8 of the sharks?
We are 8 of, we have 4 sharks in our list each, and then we've just filled out with whatever really is left.
Is it a lot of eels, though, to counterbalance that, or is it just a bit of everything else?
So when myself and my partner Frank wrote the list, we wanted to make it completely off-meta, completely just silly.
So fun, basically.
Absolutely. We play a game for a reason. It's a game for a fun reason. So the only eels we've got are the defensive ones, just to sort of slow down the enemy, and then we just hit them with the sharks straight away. And well, on turn 3, maybe. So yeah, it's a maybe if we survive until turn 3.
So what is your plan on this battle plan specifically?
On this battle plan specifically is essentially to survive and wait till our turn 2, hopefully double turn them on the turn 2 to 3 crossover, and just apply 8 sharks to target area and just see how it goes.
So it's all about the 8 sharks dropping down and smashing the opponent, basically turn 2 into 3.
Absolutely. What we're really hoping for is our eels, defensive eels, to hold them up as much as possible, especially the Daughters of Cain with their obscene amount of attacks.
Because they've got canaries, haven't they, as well? So they've got quite a bit of mobility to counteract your eels.
They do, and this is the beauty of Deepkin, is that we also have mobility too. We don't have any deep strikers, so we're going to have to play a long game out. But
it's like a bit more defensive, perhaps, as well.
Absolutely. But we're also going to try and get those sharks straight in there. This will be the only time in the world, I'm going to put it out there, that you will ever see 8 sharks in one place.
And not even on a shelf, I imagine.
Not on a shelf.
Yeah, in a shop, you wouldn't see 8 shark kits on a shelf, would you?
No, not at all.
I've never, as a shop manager myself, I've never actually stocked the shark kit, because why would I when the eels sell so well, right?
Absolutely. Well, this is what our mindset went through. We could bring more Saga. We could bring that 9 unit of eels, really tried and tested.
But you wanted to have fun.
Absolutely.
And you wanted your opponent to have fun, more importantly, right?
And that's more important.
And that's Chrimbobo.
That's more important. And in general, whenever you play a game, you're on a 3-hour interaction with your opponent, and that's what's more important. And make sure that your opponent is enjoying it as much as you are. And yes, there are those who may say differently, but that's how I play, and I enjoy it. That's why I'm dressed in a shark onesie with my shark flippers on.
Well, fair play. Right, we're going to cut to the table, ready for you guys to start your deployment. So good luck, man.
Thank you very much. Take care, all.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 3, where we have an interesting game going on table 1. We have, this is not actual table 1, this is just the stream's table 1. We have a double Deepkin Shark-themed list playing up against, let me just glide in here. No one actually informed me, but I guess my head is pretty big on this section. Love you. So that's up against a Cities of Sigmar and Daughters of Cain themed army. So we've got an interesting matchup going on, a little bit different to the Horde of Slanesh that I'm sure that we'll see tomorrow. Apart from that, we've got the results in from round 2, which you can go through for you now. Hello. So we currently have 9 players that are still on max wins. So Mr. Crow, Mr. Foot beat Maya and Mary Hill and Dale for a major win. Table 2, Robertson Amplet lost majorly to Arnold and Pirate Pete. Hogg and Cropley had a major win against Shawley and Peters. Thompson and Thompson, major win against Hughes and Smith. Keeley and Halley lost majorly to Bruce and Hughes. Field and Stinton, major win over Scott and Collar. Thornley and Mr. Spackles himself sitting comfortably on 2 wins after a major victory over Coram and Stewart. Hobbs and Powell, major win over Alcock and McQuiggan. Wildman and Bradshaw, major win over Jackson and Kay. And Mr. Bartlett and Mr. Dooley lost against Holland and Nil, who were already on a loss. So now that leaves us with 9 players who are on major wins. That leaves us with 5 tables with players who can still potentially get max wins in this event. So we have Rich Arnold and Pirate Pete. They're playing up against Alex, Bruce, and Andrew Hughes on table 1. Ewan Hogg and JJ Cropley are up against James Field and Dean Stinton on table 2. Aidan and Nick Thompson are up against Mark Wildman and Dan Bradshaw, table 3. Table 4 is Andy Thornley and Speckles against James Hobbs and James Powell, the Jameses. And then on table 7, because of some swaps we've had on the criteria and the draw, we have got B. Crow and Zach Footer on 2 wins, playing against Matt Roberts and Richie Amplet, who are 1-1. So that is the current state of play on the top 4 tables. Interesting matchup going on. It's a little bit of a palate cleanser for you guys, and we'll see how that one goes. So I'll pass it across to Nathan when I can find him. Nathan, buddy, is there anything going on, mate? I'll take that as a no. I'll have that as a mute.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to the Honest War Game, game number 3. We've decided to put on not the top table this game. We have got, it's actually table 17, but it looks like a fun match, so we will be showing you everything. We have got a line of tequila down the center, which some fin-handed sharks have got hold of somehow. So it'll be interesting to see when, and a big bucket of beer. So it's one of those sort of games. No, you can put that back up there, that's fine, thank you. Right, so we're in the deployment phase. But before we do that, obviously, start the stream, we have to thank our Patreon members, our Twitch subscribers, our podcast listeners, and the people that clean the floors when we make the floors dirty. So thank you very much, everybody. Here we have we're playing Total Commitment. We've got a Iden Deepkin pairing, which has got some eels, but more importantly, it's got loads of sharks. We've got 8 sharks, 2 kings, a few eels, and some thralls. 9 defensive eels. And they are facing off against a Cities of Sigmar list. Which city are you from?
Hallowheart.
From the city of Hallowheart. He's got some Shadow Blades, a couple of units of Phoenix Guard, and a couple of wizards. A Phoenix with an Anointed on, a Frost Phoenix, and the Geminids of Ulgush. And then his partner is playing the Daughters of Cain with a Medusa, big unit of Sisters of Slaughter,
30 of Witch Elves, 30 sisters.
and so 30 Sisters of Slaughter and 30 Witch Elves also, and 2 hags. So, oh, that's 5 harpies. And do you know what enclave they're from?
No.
No, not enclave. What temple they hail from?
What temple are you? What temple?
Hagnar. So they are Hagnar, and your general is the Medusa. So Medusa. So they're busy deploying well, you can see where their objectives are. They've got a couple of screens of Phoenix Guard up, and then they're just going to drop big blobs of sisters and witches to fight for their objectives. And across the board, we're going to have loads of eels and sharks come flying across with their kings behind them, herding them on, hoping to nick all of their gold. I'm expecting the Ideneth have got the maneuverability, so they're the ones probably going to be initiating the attacks, and then we'll see the cities and the daughters probably holding back the attack, I would have thought, and then pushing on to try and get stuck in. So there we go. But you can see it's a bit of a fun game. Got loads of shots of tequila lined up down the diagonal, marking out the territories, and then a massive bucket of beer to the side. So I think that is their main objective of the game, of the weekend, is to have a bit of fun. The Ideneth players have disabled themselves by wearing onesies, being unable to get hold of any fingers. They have enlisted the help of an assistant that's going to be rolling dice as well, so we'll see flashes of somebody that might have a little bit more of an understanding of what's going on than the actual players, but there we go. Oh, they're not very happy with that comment. So he's deployed all of his eels and his king about 3 inches too far forward, but hey ho. I don't know what sort of yeah. So there we go. So, what have you got? Is it 4 units of 2 sharks?
So 4 units of 2 sharks, 3 units of 3 no-rend eels, 1 unit of 10 thralls, and 2 Archon kings.
Lovely. Cool. That's a. Which enclave are you from?
Both Euthane.
Both Euthane. One's the ethereal amulet for no rend on the 3 up regardless. And you're still going to keep that amulet, was it? Shroud of the Midnight?
It's Midnight, Cloud of Midnight.
The Cloud at Midnight. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What the fuck is happening here?
So, yeah, we've seen the 2 serious-looking blocks of little elves. Some are Sisters of Slaughter, and some are witches.
Right, so the tiger shark and the bull shark are coming out.
Ah, so we've got some very themed sharks, a tiger shark and a bull shark. Whereas you've just gone with gold sharks.
Say again.
Spartan-headed sharks, huh? Gold sharks. Yeah. Cool. No. And another one of those hags dropping down. So it leaves us with 2 more sharks. What variety have we got here then? A great white and a hammerhead. Sweet. They're going right to the highest point in all the realms. Lovely. Cool.
No, they're not safe.
So,
I'm worried.
right. So, and then we've got one more wizard. Oh, and a phoenix. Yes, don't forget the phoenix. And then, yeah, and then the phoenix. Cool. Everybody's ready to rock and roll, right, gentlemen? Apparently, there's some sort of ritual involving the Aether Sea. Right, tequila, all the words that we hear. Right, tequila.
Come on in, my darling. Come on in.
They've called on some reserves. Get a bit of salt going.
Come in.
Right, who's next? Yes. Right, get that tequila on the go. Oh, fuck a duck. And a beer.
So what's the rules? What
Right.
we doing?
Who are we toasting? A stream or something?
It's salt in your hand here,
Yeah.
and then you lick it, take the shot, and then bite it along. It makes it go down really smooth.
Okay.
Right, let's go.
Go!
And there you go. That's how you get it stuck into the Aether Sea. Lovely.
Was I the one that left the beer?
Right,
I was the one that left the beer.
you are a nutter. Right. So, who's going first?
You are going first. You go first.
Right.
Come in, right. Shake my fin, you knobheads. Shake my fin.
Where's his thing?
Right, battle has commenced. The Idoneth have given first turn to the cities and the daughters.
Great first turn, now over to us.
Yeah, time waste. Everybody had 10 minutes.
Fall up, see if I get a command point. I do get an extra
Go
command
next to
point.
that.
Two command points.
Phoenix.
On the command ability that everyone loves.
Where is it?
I get +3 to cast on this wizard and it
Oh,
takes,
your Hallow Heart!
and it takes 3 more wounds.
So the Hello Heart player earns the extra command point from the Phoenix, immediately uses it to take 3 mortal wounds, gets +3 to cast. Having the Ignax scales saves 2 of the mortal wounds cast on him, so he's down to 4. Now he's going to cast some magics.
This matey boy's going to try and cast.
So interesting thing will be what the hell is Sharks going to do? Because nobody ever sees them anyway. A double 1 +3 to cast, still not enough.
Mystic Shield on the Phoenix Guard.
And then casting a Mystic Shield onto the Phoenix Guard, screening the Sisters of Slaughter. And then next to the Phoenix we've got some witch elves. So that's a -1 to hit spell cast on a 12. Yeah, so he's just cast a -1 to hit spell on a 12 on the Phoenix Guard. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you've got other things that are more pressing at this moment in time. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They're discussing the benefits of a tiger shark, or a bull shark, or a white shark, or a hammer shark, or just a gold shark. Which brew? Hey, Paul Haley's got it. Paul Haley's got it sorted. He just sculls a couple of brews, and then that's job done. That's his heroic. And
Cataclysm and Blessing.
the blessing of Cain onto this unit next to the Phoenix, and the other unit taking Catechism, the Catechism prayer. Catechism of murder. And he's going to try and cast some Mind Razor from his Medusa. Smashes it on a 9.
Sorry, I laughed. No, we don't have a number.
There we go. So
Spells are done. Movement.
and then casting the healing spell on the wizard that had taken the wounds earlier. So some serious tactics now, whether to push forward or I don't know what's happening. It doesn't matter if they're going to do well. Are you going to do well?
Oh, we'll do great. I've actually no idea what's going to happen. I mean, we're going to completely ignore that lot over there. We were going this way.
All of them, yeah.
Why he's going over there at all? It's useless over there.
Fair enough. So that's the Idoneth tactics have been revealed. They're going to ignore half of the other army.
The whole army.
The whole of the other army, apparently, and just go and nick some gold. Maybe, although there is an army on the gold, so I don't know how they're going to ignore all of them. But they've decided that now's a good time to replenish on their alcohol stocks. Cool. So moving into, so we're on to the movement phase. Phoenix Guard pushing forward. Pretty good screen, really. They're 4 up after damage saves. But yeah, the cities in the Daughters army have split their army pretty much equally between the two objectives. Whereas the Ideneth Deepkin are more, they've got a small force on the one side, but majority of the force is on the other flank. These guys all just running straight forwards. That's 6. And the unit that's on the bottom objective has got the Blessing of Cain on them, so they're actually a lot tankier than I think the Ideneth players realise with their re-rollable after damage save. So I mean, these guys have they're not really that bothered about the tactics. In fact, the Ideneth players have decided to concentrate on other stuff. I am. You know it. Whether they're aware of the Blessing of Cain actually buffing that unit or not will be interesting. I'm sure if they had a few more of their wits about them, they might be actually. And that's it. Have you got a hero phase you'd like to do before the movement phase? No. They're not into hero phases apparently, so straight on to movement. Oh, one of them asking their team partner, what are we doing? And everybody at the moment is wondering, what are they doing? So score is... so you guys just scored 2 that turn, yeah? How do we score? Yeah. So score at the end of the first turn for for Adam and Paul is 2. And there we see the super fast movement that is the Ideneth Deepkin. just moving. They're all trying to occupy the same space, and you can only fit so many fishes. So the shipwreck's doing 1 mortal wound, which being saved by the Temple of Hagnar. The Phoenix Guard not even bothering to make an effort because they didn't take any damage. And then, so Here we've seen the rapid movement of the Ardenethipkin. They're running around to basically try and just trying to do one flank only. So trying to concentrate all their force on one half of their opponent's team, which is not a bad tactic really. Overwhelm half the army, and then you can move on to the other half. So the Sharks moving up, but it's not a run. So they're preparing to offload their bows and arrows. Lots of witch brew appearing on the horizon, I see as well. It's lots of alcoholic nutrients in this Aether Sea. The Cities of Sigma player making the mistake of asking why the shark has got horns on it, being told he's an idiot because it's a bull shark. It's really obvious. So there we go. Not impressing, Scrivo. So here we go. So now we're going to see. Oh, it's still moving around. So what do we reckon, Paul? What are we expecting from these Ardenethipkin?
I have no idea what's going on right now. These sharks are just crazy.
Nobody knows what sharks do, so we're all kind of interested as to what they're doing. No, it's scary. I've been informed they're playing a refused flank. Sure. It's very tactical apparently. So you can see though they have isolated half of the Daughters and Cities army, and they're going to just kind of concentrate on one flank. Right. So that's all the movement. So now we're going to see some sharks shooting. We've brought up the sniper. So 6 shots. On the hag. So that's pretty good. What damage are they? 1 damage. 1 damage. So that's from. Another save for the hag. Which she fails, so another wound. Yeah, 2 wounds left on the hag. So they've decided the hag must die. They're just shooting the sharks a pair at a time. So the sharks are 3 shots each. Normally 3s and yeah. 3s and 3s. Rerolling 1s if the king is nearby. doing 1 damage. So obviously the hag being next to the block of witch elves. 2 more on the hag. She's got 1 wound left. Wow, those pair of sharks really don't like hags. They all hit. And there goes the hag. So that was the hag that had the blessings of Cain prayer. So was that all the shooting, yeah? 8 sharks to kill 1 hag. Sweet. The round of applause. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the Chrimbobo event, where you see 8 sharks doing a whole round of shooting to kill 1 hag. Well, I think they're quite happy with that, to be honest. There we go. Oh, I don't know what else to say. So we got still debating about charges. No, they're going to keep the charges for another day. So we got a priority roll. That is 2 more points. So 2 points to the Identith Deepkin. And we're into a priority roll. Yes. Everybody rolls dice. We do a little bit of mathematics. They're searching in their pockets for the right dice. I'm expecting to see at least a 14 rolled on that side of the table. So we got a 6 on this side and a 10 on this side. And the sharks are overjoyed. They are bouncing around like a couple of dolphins and decided to have a tequila break. Tequila break? Tequila break. Right. So, fair enough. This is how you fight in the mortal realms of Chrimbobo. Instead of new balls, or like as if we were playing tennis, we're just doing tequila instead. And yes, apparently the commentators get involved. You don't want to suck it again? Oh, the lime. Just put some on the lime. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
And down your beer.
I did it last time.
I'll give it a go.
I did it last time. Okay.
Right, on 3.
Gentlemen and ladies.
Right, go.
Nutters. Right, well that's tequila break done. Whose is that tequila? Yours. I think it's for your friend Sophie. Right, gentlemen, who's taking the turn? serious debate amongst the sharks. Do they take the turn or not? Now that they've livened their neurons with a dash of tequila and a splash of lime, a little bit of salt, they're going to be thinking as clear as day. We are going to see some scintillating tactics. They're handing the turn over. You have been given the turn. What are you going to do?
My word. Drink.
Right, okay, fair enough. Right. Cool, so on to the Cities of Sigmar. You're going to cast some spells. Yeah. So, yeah, do you get command abilities and all of those? So, cool. So, do you earn a command point? No. So on to 2 command points at the moment. Yeah. Taking 3 mortal wounds for +3 to cast. With his Ignax scales, he ignores none of them. Takes all 3. Do some magics. The Geminids of Ulgush, cast on a 10.
So if I... You're like 25 away, so if I land in...
What's magic? What's that? What sort of range is that? 26.
It's 18 and moves 8, so I just cut out the middleman. Cut out the middleman, yeah. So only one here. We're going to have the...
Clip you and drop back.
So do the -1 to hit, and you take...
3 mortal wounds. But does the shipwreck protect the eels? No. So one of the eels taking 3 mortal wounds, and that unit of eels is now -1 to hit in. Cheers, man. Yeah. So. So now it's down to the Cities of Sigmar and the Daughters players. What are they going to do? So the redeployment of the Ideneth has meant that half their army is pretty ineffectual. I'm very surprised actually that the Ideneth gave that turn away, because they could have taken advantage of the situation that they actually quite cleverly played themselves into, where they could, like, they've split the army in half. If they'd taken the turn, they could have gone in and seriously nullified half of their opponent's army. But instead, they've given their opponents the chance to be able to consolidate and, get their army back together and actually threaten the Ideneth back objective. So. Yeah. Right. Okay, well, you got some more spells. You may as well carry on with the other spells.
I'll try and heal up the other wizard.
Yep. So it's you roll d6 to get how many wounds you heal. Yeah, so he's healed up his wizard again, and he got some more spells there.
This guy is going to do a Mystic Shield.
A Mystic Shield onto the Phoenix Guard. Right. Cool.
And he's also going to do sort of damage. That's all he's got is damage on him, right?
And so he's out of range to do any damage spells. So that's.
My hero phase is done. What are you doing?
So, and then Paul has got some Witch Brew to put on some units. He's
I'd like to Witch Brew.
And the Catechism of Murder fails, and he actually takes 2 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound from that. So there we go.
My brother and all his mates are watching the stream. You're a bunch of cats.
Yeah. So shout out to the Sharks brother and their mates. Yes, you're right. They are. They really suck at this. So there we go. Apparently I'm mean, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong. So. And then we're casting Mind Rays again, which he gets off. So that's on to the Witch Elves.
What are they doing?
So they've cast Mind Razor, gents.
Okay.
Does that worry you at all, Mind Razor?
I don't know what Mind Razor does.
The only thing that worries me is that there's a lack of alcohol on this table. And
It's
that's
all inside your bellies, that's why.
It's true. It's true.
well, I mean, yeah, but
So what does Mind Razor do?
what is Mind Razor?
It gives them rend.
Oh,
Okay.
and
Which
if-
we ignore. You're all right. carry on.
If you ignore, you got the heals that ignore rend.
Yeah.
So that's fair
Good
enough.
for them.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
for them. Yeah.
But also, if their bravery exceeds yours, they get extra pip of damage as
Oh,
well.
good. This is under the assumption that we're going to actually attack them.
All we
like this
care
turn.
about
All
that
we care.
unit. That unit is very sacrificial.
Why
Okay.
is this Phoenix come over here? I'm not happy
Scared,
with
to be
this.
honest, isn't he? He's scared. He's
just
moving.
So you're not worried that birds can beat sharks?
No.
No.
Have you seen what sharks do to like albatrosses? They just come out of the water and just
And take
have
them out of the
They
sky.
stab them, yeah.
The video of the shark coming out of the water and taking the albatross is
If a seal-
incredible.
If a seal that's in the water gets mugged off by a great white like at 90 miles per hour, just
90.
at
90.
at least 200 miles per hour, just like coming at it. Like, why am I worried about a bird that can barely fly across water? I'm going to eat it alive.
All right then.
Now, I'm gonna fuck your bird.
You know what? I am determined. I'm not going to charge it. I'm going to ignore that bird for the entire game. I don't even mind if it takes our objective. Just ignore it. I don't care about it. No, it's one model. I don't like it. No, I don't like it.
Oh, she's got more tequila.
More tequila.
And yet another tequila break.
Oh, yes. This is why you need a someone stream.
Right.
Why even play this game? It's just okay, good.
This is the most random game of Warhammer I've ever played in my life.
The most random game he's ever played. This might be the most.
And I've played a few drunk, let me tell you.
Yeah. It does seem like it's going to be an interesting one. That's for sure. So the Phoenix are going to try and sweep in, I think, and start engaging the Sharks in the center there. The Phoenix Guard. I think the Ideneth players have decided they've done their good move for the tournament, maybe. And they're yeah.
They're running 5 up this floor to sisters.
Can you like swap over there? Can you like swap out? 11 sisters.
So yeah, the sisters are making a big dash up the back, so they're obviously going to try and threaten the rear of the Ideneth team. A serious question from Paul Hadley's team: if they make their opponents pass out, do they actually win? It's like a knockout tournament. This is like Well, I'll bring you a tequila, Scrivo. You can have my next tequila, yeah? So, yeah, apparently the plan has changed. It's now become a knockout tournament. If they can make their opponents unconscious, then they think they will have won the game. I don't recommend that as a form of playing the game, personally, but there we go. Paul's urging his team member just to pile up and charge, because that's what he's come here for. And the Shark players are busting out some moves. So, a bit of a tap. And the other Shark not very not very happy with that display of whatever it was a display of. Dropping dabs. They just want to come out and play, it looks like.
Nothing's happened yet.
Shadow Warriors moving on to that back objective to keep it under control. Like skirting right on the back edge to make that charge as difficult as possible for the eels. Because the eels can just hop over that screen, or that big blob in front of them. Charge into the Shadow Warriors at the back. Meanwhile, the Medusa moving up, making sure he's keeping within range to give that Hagnar save. And the Canary High-Renders, they're stopping on the back objective. Cool. So shooting, no shooting. Does the Medusa shoot? Nobody within range. So Phoenix charges, using a command point to re-roll that charge for a 6-inch charge. So we've got a Phoenix has made a charge into your precious sharks. Apparently it's a dream come true. And the Phoenix Guard charging into the no-rend eels, they're called. What's their proper name? Achillean Guard? Ishlian Guard. Or as everybody likes to call them. And then we got a charge from the Witch Elves. Making 8 inches, so. So now, finally, we've got loads of combat.
attack because the hag's dead.
So hag has died. The witches have only got 4 attacks each. 3 attacks each at the moment. 15 of them. So we got 15 witches trying to stab 3 eels in there.
Is that 45 attacks?
Paul's happy. He's rolling loads of dice. All of his dice. Get all them dice out. So 45 attacks. These having Mind Razor on them. What's the bravery of your eels? Not enough. All right. So, right. So we've got bravery 6 eels. So they will be taking damage 2. Rolling his dice in handfuls. No rerolls. We're not that sorry about it, I'm afraid, Paul.
No rerolls on the wounds either.
Right, not re-rolling to hit or to wound because the hag died. So I don't know if it's hard, but it's something. Yeah. Well, we've 23. So 23 saves for them, their eels. At damage 2.
Sorry?
At damage 2. Yeah.
21, 22, 23, 22. Are you fucking right? Threes, no, shark is fours, and then sixes.
4s, and then whatever you don't make, you double and rolls for 6s.
Easy. It's easy as fuck. So, you mean keep up that? Right, go on, tell me what you've done. Shit ones. They're all good. That's a 4.
So how many have you got there? You double that, and you look for 6s.
22. 11.
So it should be all of the dice that you started with. Yeah.
That many 6-ups would be lovely.
All I need to do is get so you see this number.
So careful dice training here, telling them which number to look for when you roll the dice. Okay then. Go for it. Go for it. And all the eels have died. that was great. Well played, gents. Right. Three eels into the Phoenix Guard. These are not the not the attacking eels. Rerolling ones because it's turn 2. That's where their tide is up. It'll be interesting to see. I'm obviously expecting the Phoenix Guard to he's struggling to throw dice onto a table, which is fair enough. When it gets to this point of the Chrimbobo tournament, it is a big table.
Are you alright? What the fuck is that? What is that?
I've got loads more attack.
Yeah. So.
The bite's 3. Reroll ones.
2.
2 at minus nothing.
What the fuck?
Phoenix Guard proving just how tanky they are, making saves. Eels are still plugging away.
Dirty man. Dirty man. No, don't be stupid.
And the Phoenix Guard taking no damage at all from those eels. So now we get the Phoenix. Phoenix is going to try and eat a shark. Maybe?
I didn't even know he charged him.
The sharks are in crisis, are they?
I remember the eels. I didn't know they charged.
You'd forgot the Phoenix had charged. Fair enough.
Imagine turning up.
Adam, this is the moment. This is the moment.
Imagine.
Minus 1.
3 minus 1, 5.
2 damage apiece.
1 save.
So
And then the 2 on top.
Die.
Minus 1.
Minus 1.
And then only 1 damage.
so putting putting 5 wounds onto a shark, but not enough to kill a shark. So now the sharks get to retaliate. There we go. Cool, so 2 sharks. What do they do in combat? 5 attacks, 3s and 4s.
No, fuck it. Both sharks is the finish.
Yeah?
The minus 1 to wounds.
Hold up. Really? 1 shot into Phoenix Guard, 1 shot into Phoenix Guard.
Little column A and little
Into the
column
Phoenix
B.
Guard.
Okay. These are, yeah. Yes. So.
This is working. This is working. The bite's 3 threes. Yes. Yes.
Minus 2.
Minus 2 on these guys.
Yes.
3 damage, so 3 dice.
So bite going through doing 3 damage, but it saves them all.
Alright, give me those dice, right?
No, they're finally working.
Are you having my eyes out? That is fucking ridiculous.
And then the other shark into the Phoenix.
Wow.
I know, his tiles are working for Phoenix guys.
These are the fins. Yeah. There we go. And now into the Phoenix itself, into the Anointed on Phoenix. 4s and 4s. Two on the Phoenix.
On the Phoenix.
Yeah.
So this will be a 4 up. Right, go through. Nice.
Takes a wound. You've inflicted a wound.
There you go.
And then the fin attacks, fins and tails, whatever they are. So 2 more. Yeah. Minus. Damage 1. Another wound. So starting to chip away at the Phoenix bar. I have a feeling that's going to take a long time to get through that.
He's on my side.
That's gone. That's all gone.
No matter what side I'm on, it's going to take a long time, unfortunately for us. Or them, or everybody.
Turn 3, we get to attack first with everything, which is why we gave them turn 2.
So, yes.
And of course, we haven't had our turn 2.
Yeah. So, pointed out that they're getting turn.
We've just kidnapped a woman.
They're going to get turn 2, and then turn 3 for both halves of that turn. They will be playing.
And the king
They'll be fighting first.
attacks on their 3 damage weapons.
Right.
How many wounds?
Community, because
Oh,
and it's
fair enough. Meanwhile, the rest of Chrimbobo is looking pretty disorderly.
absolutely yes, you're right. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about a solid 12 on what's going on the table. I've got no idea. My opponent's rolling dice. I don't know what's going on.
These are Phoenix Guard attacking your precious eels. Your
Yeah,
mate.
but that's fine though, because we'll just retreat and just mug them off.
6 saves.
Oh, she's still here. Oh my god.
And one of the sharks has been dragged down. And 1 eel being dragged down. So the Phoenix Guard doing quite a bit of good work there, showing that they're not good at, not just good tankers, they're actually quite good at doing damage as well. So, yeah.
Is that everything?
So that's it, Battle Shocker.
Just some 6 my ears will flee.
Yeah. No. So. Fine. So another 2 points to the Age of Chumps team, and now the Shark team having a turn to get stuck in and do some stuff. So another couple of command points. You're going to ignore the command phase again, straight into movement. So onto your movement, gentlemen.
I'll turn 2.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Right, so this is table 17. As you can see, they're struggling with keeping the game flowing at the moment. So on table 2, by the way, we have a joint Cities of Sigmar army playing against some Stormcast Eternals. And who are we playing against, Chad, JJ? So Stormcast Eternals and Ogres versus your double Cities of Sigmar. Pure Freegal, yeah. So, and it looking like it's going pretty much the way of the Cities of Sigmar. The Iron Drakes have absolutely devastated the Ogres, and there's not a lot left over there. On the next table down, we have the Brain Squig himself and his brother, the men from WS10, who have got Rats and Ogres, and they're playing the Mark Wildman and his protege, Dan, the Master, who have got a Archeon list here and an Iron Jaws list. So how's it looking, Nick?
It's looking, it's a bit perilous, but if we get the priority, I reckon that I can kill Archeon and the big cabbage this turn with a bit of Scryer fire, and then, yeah.
Then there's not a lot left on their side, really. I mean, there's a big unit of art, boys.
Scored heavy, so, yeah. We've had to wait and bait them in, and then we need this priority, so it should be fun.
So, hanging back.
Yeah, we're hanging back. We're baiting them.
Drawn them into the attack, into range. So, yeah. So, but relying on getting a double turn really to be able to kill both of the big fellas and score some points there. Then we have Simon Speckles on table 5. Yeah. Table 4. And we've also got James. So this is like the Honest Wargamer table with a little bit of bad dice thrown in.
Trying to play.
Yeah.
And that's James.
James is James.
The other is trying to play. The rest of us.
Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That seems to be the theme for this tournament. Okay. Right. There we go. It's like a condom packet then, really. Yeah. Fair enough. The table 1 game, which we were supposed to be, which we'll probably stream at some stage, was a Slanesh. Surprise, surprise. Slanesh and Slanesh and Deepkin playing against Fire Slayers. Oh, no Slanesha. Oh, I thought Rich had Slanesh. No. Oh, okay. So what have we got?
We got the eels versus everything else.
Right. So, fair enough. So got 9 Taught or Legion of Blood
with Fire Slayers. We shot off both the keepers we double turned, we shot off both the keepers. Massive second turn. It's basically, we need to kill the king with our hero to get our secondary and stop them killing either a Rune Master, which has 6 wounds, or the Vampire Lord with the Achilles King for their secondary. But we've got the eels to deal with.
Yeah. All right then. So that's interesting. The Slanesh half of that combo has actually been neutered, and yeah, that's very interesting indeed, because we obviously saw Slanesh causing havoc on the top table before. Here we got gentlemen gamers playing against the lady gamers, being delivered alcoholic beverages. Do I see Scragrot on a Balewind? And he's doing crafty stuff. Where's Gotrek? So Gottrek's been running around causing a bit of mayhem. So back to our streaming table. What you guys been keeping an eye on for us?
What we've done is we've done some stuff. I've run 2 run moves. Those guys are on a 5 with a rear off and the kick. These guys are on a free roll start. Run start.
So
We don't need to charge them. Shoot these guys because that means.
so they can run and shoot this turn. Right. So they've. Deciding to try and tag the witch elf block and hold them in place. So. So all the sharks and the eels have hopped forward. And the Identity keep circling around again, threatening the back center objective of the Age of Chumps team. And the thralls. Oh, and the thralls are running up to threaten the sisters, apparently. So, big discussion between the 2 shark players. One of them is convinced that he should charge the thralls into the sisters and try and do loads of damage to the witches in the center. The other one is less convinced. So there we go. It's a tough decision, this one. One of them is not at all convinced to make that threat. And then, having had a discussion with their opponents, they've decided it's probably not a good idea. It's probably quite right. They've decided no, they're going for it. No, they still haven't decided what they're doing. So instead, going to screen out their objective. Here come the shooting. So shark shooting into the shadow warriors. Five up save on the shadow warriors. making 3 saves, so 4. No, shooting.
So what shots then? Oh, is it those 3 and that one? There's more shots than I thought. It's good, he'll fuck it up.
Without doubt.
1, 2. I have no idea. 3. They're making a play. They're making a play.
Trying to get
I don't agree
them
with
down.
it.
That's all we're going to try and do.
We'll pick it up. I think it was protracted on both sides. So the other half of the Sharks shooting into the Shadow Warriors again. So leaving one Shadow Warrior who's unlikely to hang around. So that means those 2 eels take this off. Yep. $11. Cool. And then the 2 eels charging into the last show row. These eels into the Phoenix. Anointed on Phoenix. And the Sharks charging into the Witch Owls, hoping to tag them in. And also drag them back slightly away from their own objective. So there we go. I think he's not really tagged them now, though. He's just going to take full-on attention from those Witch Elves. I don't think those Sharks are going to enjoy that experience. Do you think the Sharks will enjoy that experience, Paul?
I'm sure the Sharks will love that experience.
Yeah.
Baby sharks. Who's the younger one? No, seriously, who's the younger one? Let's find baby shark. Yeah, excellent. He's not, is he?
Right, it's cool. So who's fighting first?
The only combat, what's up with these?
That means your grandpa.
Yeah. So 2 Sharks into some Witch Elves. I mean, they're going to do some damage, but I do expect those Sharks to disappear in a bit. But definitely the maneuverability of the Ideneth has put them into a strong position here. So you've got 6 saves to make on your witches.
Six up, 5 up.
6 in a rate, yeah.
killing 4 of the witch elves.
The bike's next. 3s and 3s. Oh, yeah.
So 2 more saves,
-2.
and then -2. So straight through to after damage saves. How much? They 6 damage altogether. Here come some good rolling by these sharks actually. So that's another 6 at -1. So 3 more.
Only 3 from 8.
Yeah.
Oh look, he comes alive. He comes alive.
Phoenix.
He's going to step up to the mark.
Phoenix into the 3 eels. They've charged it. And that's 4 saves at -1. Yes.
I charge, so 3 ups.
No, that's it.
4 damages, please.
4 damage, yeah?
So killing 1 of the eels, then the rider gets to go. It's 3 more -1. Saving them all. There we go. Cool.
This guy's got it. Yeah.
Convinced his Shadow Warrior will be able to withstand.
My confidence is wavering.
And
Look, he's gone.
taking the Shadow Warrior off. Cool.
Did not see it coming.
So Paul's Witch Elves.
I don't know what they do. They will pile in and they will hit you with many attacks. Oh, hey!
Oh, there he is. Your witch elves, mate.
Get him. I don't know what you do, so maybe
So you got 8, 13, another 4, 17. So 18 Witch Elves. Yeah. Gotcha. So 18 by 3 attacks.
I'm happy, but very, very like overwhelmed by how many he's just hit. I don't have a single set of arm. I'm just going to roll all the dice and see what happens.
Who knows? The Shark players have said that they're playing a game and apparently they might win or they might lose. Which is, yeah, maybe a little bit more obvious than some people would think. 18.
We're going into turn 3, aren't we? So we'll be alright.
There's a 1 there. Yeah. Cool. So loads of hits going through. Re-rolling, is it the turn that you re-roll, is it? Yeah.
Turn 3. Turn 3 Hagnar, reroll 4 hits.
There we go, and there's 2. Cool. So, absolutely. Wounding on 4s without any rend. And no reroll. Because the hag died very early in this battle.
I love how Nathan's like the dad at this table.
So,
He needs the 3.
5, 10, 15. That's 20 at -1 doing 2 damage.
That's fine. That's fine.
2 damage, yeah. And there go the sharks. But they have done 10 damage to that unit of witch elves.
Imagine sharks dying in droves. Imagine Paul.
Didn't see it coming.
Is it going?
See it coming.
This is a bonus.
Yep. And these are the 2 eels into the phoenix. Not doing. And that was turn 2, right? Priority roll. Oh yeah. Command point. Command point from the Medusa. And that's that. So priority roll. Currently.
Hey, well, we can't start presidents and then not carry on.
So the Ideneth scored 3 in that turn, having nicked the back objective. Having a quick tequila break again.
Should be 7 to 4.
Right, stop. Give me that fucking line now.
They actually get the Ideneth actually score 3 for that objective, so they score 3, 4, 5 that turn, so they're on to 7. That's fine.
That's how you do it.
No salt. No salt. Right. He looks so huge. Like, oh, man. Cheers. No, thank you. Good game. No, what happens? Let's go. Go.
All right then. So we have a priority roll now, please. Please, can we have a priority roll?
We've got a solid 3.
And
You're taking it.
Of course we'll take it.
so Ideneth winning that 7 to 3, and taking the turn. So that means that the Geminids can move. So now the quandary is, does he give the Sharks -1 attack, but it does affect the his own witches? Or so Geminid. And so the Geminid's doing, how much damage do they do? You can re-roll that because he's empowered. So 1 wound to the Thralls. And then -1 to hit now for the... Right, gentlemen. Any command, any hero phase shenanigans? The bucket.
Nothing flies, we have no eidolons, and nothing's in cover really. So no hero phase for us. We don't have wizards, we don't have heroes really.
Those are heroes. They're going to save their shenanigans for the combat phase. Right, let's do this thing. Right, movement. So the Kings are very confident. One of them is like, I'm going to go and kill me a Phoenix. The other one is, I'm going to go and kill me 20 Witch Elves that are left on the board. Right, we're into the movement phase. The hero phase was discussing what they're going to do. Thralls moving up. Eels moving up to threaten now the other objective, or the little wizard that's stood near there. Sharks moving on to consolidate this back objective.
No, I want a wizard. Seb, I'm going after wizards, by the way. It's not very nice. No. My partner's not happy.
Benedictine, kill this shit so we secure it.
Surely double sharks into that is going to kill it.
It's a contingency plan. Get them in range so they can choose. Oh, you know what I mean? You can choose.
There we go. Very, very convinced. He wants to have choices. Paul doesn't really mind. He's wondering where his bucket of beer has gone. So.
What's the saves on this thing?
Right, no, Frank, it's a 4-up and the 4-up save. Just go in. It's got to get through you to get that. So send it in. Well, wait, no, stand back, stop. If it retreats, it'll capture it. So put it here.
Next time I can retreat and charge.
No, but then we don't capture it. No, listen.
I already hold it.
No, but right, I get you. If he retreats onto it, he has it. No, stop.
You can retreat.
Keep him there. Keep him here. Put him here. Yes, I know we want to go in for it, but don't. It's a trap.
So.
King goes in, Eels retreat. He does far more damage.
But it doesn't matter because that will have 4-up save after save. But I might not survive it. No, you might, but it might kill you. Play the game. You've got 8 wounds here. That's fine. Unrendable. Sit here and back here. Please unrendable. Please listen to me.
Oh, a heated discussion amongst the Shark players. as to whether the king should go in and the eels drop back, or the eels go in.
Right, how many card points have you got? 3. Using them. Right, yeah, go there, go. Retreat, attack.
Retreat, attack. Tactics have been decided upon. Right.
I'm going to secure this shit over here.
And the Sharks swinging around to consolidate in the back here and threaten the heroes in the center. The Medusa, and there's a couple of wizards there as well. Possibly also tag that big blob at the top there, stopping them threatening their own rear objective. In this turn, so in this turn, bearing in mind that the Ideneth will be always strikes first for their whole army, not only in their turn but also in their opponent's turn. So this is their real combat turn, where they can take advantage of any fight that they get into. So we're on to the shooting phase then, ladies and gentlemen.
That lady there.
Yeah.
Two, no run.
So, and then another 3 sharks into the Medusa, forcing her to take 2.
2 wounds.
5 up, 5 up.
1 save. She takes it.
Yeah.
She don't give no shit.
So,
you're gonna have to chomp her.
right.
Medusa took it all.
Yeah, all saved.
Charges then.
Yes.
Like King Cannon.
Thank you.
My sharks are into a wizard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The eels, the sharks into the wizard. The eels into the wizard. Yes. Oh, 11.
Bloody hell,
Went a few laps around him.
They actually said that.
Okay, yeah, 3-1. It's 3-1.
We go first in every combat.
Oh, you can't use iron tables against them. That's not how this works.
a big, long 11-inch charge, meaning that the eels actually get to threaten the heart renders.
I think we just lost this game, Nathan.
Yeah, Paul's not very confident anymore about that. So,
I won the drinking competition.
but in his heart, he knows he is probably the best drinker in all of Chrimbobo. So, I only. Roll away, my dear.
You get to re-roll it because they've got blood in the water. She's taking a wound, just re-roll it.
It doesn't matter. She's taken a wound, so yeah. And are the other two sharks going to charge?
Other two sharks are going to charge as well. No.
And here we go. Another charge, a 9. So where are we going with that? Alright, so you have to be within 3, you'll have to be on the ground because it's base to base.
Gotcha, no dramas.
Yeah, so you can put it like so, as long as you're...
I get it, but I have to be within 3 of them.
So it's...
We're charging the witches.
You, there.
Yeah, we know, yeah, we're
No, you're just tagging them so that they have to pile in, but only one of them can attack you.
No, stop. This is the rule. Basic rules. Agreed.
Or are you going to fight them?
I want to fight them, yes. I actually want to fight them.
There we go. So you can swing around and attack with one into them and one into the Phoenix card.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lovely. Cool. And the Achillean King is charging. 4. That'll do. Drops down into there. Hood's on. It always strikes first with their whole army. So, right, where are we starting? Start one end and move. Yeah, that's fine. So, do you want to start rolling on yours, this side?
Frank, don't forget your command points. Use
Oh,
them
yeah,
now.
yeah. So basically, I've got 3 attacks.
Yeah.
That's my attacks. I've got an extra 3 for every command point I've just spent on this, and an extra 2 because the high tide, I get plus 2 attacks with the command trait. So I've got 7 attacks with each of my profiles.
Right, so it's plus, so it's 7 attacks on, plus 4 on each profile.
This is start of combat, you do the command points, so 3 command points, and then high tide is plus 2.
3 command points and high tide, so 5 extra attacks. 5 extra attacks on each of your profiles. So you've got 4 extra attacks.
So I've got plus 1 attack per turn on each command point. So
Yeah.
Turn 3. 5 attacks on each attack.
Yeah, but you've spent 1 for a re-roll charge that you did earlier. So plus 4 attacks on each of your profiles. Good. Yeah, happy days. Because he's
got 3 command points.
he's burnt 1, so he's got 2 command points. And gets plus 2 anyway because it's high tide. Okay.
There's a lot of attacks. Nothing. 4 minus 2. This one. What's the save?
4 up. So 6 up.
Nothing.
4 6 up.
Well, you kill him off Phoenix, hold on.
Yeah, man. 4 6 up. No, so it's 3 damage each.
So that's 9 4-ups.
I thought he was killing his shit, not my shit.
1, 2, 3, 4 so far. So it's down to
Just 6.
6 left.
I got this. I'm not giving you a thumbs up. Whatever happens is bad. I know. Poor Phoenix, you're clipping its wings, man.
Cool. And then over here,
I have no idea what's going on. He's just tried to hit the Phoenix guard and fluffed it. What else you got here? What else you got going on here?
so this guy attacking there.
I'm a big fan. Just again, and again. One wound, no, one red. One red. 5 up. I save it. I like Phoenix Guard a lot. That combat is done. Excellent. Now, I thought a bit worse.
Is that shark attacking them though?
Right.
Right. Same again into there. 5 up, 5 up. 5 up, 6 up.
I know, the Medusa's still alive, so.
Nothing.
No.
No.
That's all right.
Failed.
Okay, so nothing. I like where this is going. I really like where this is going.
Looking for threes.
Put out the falchion, mate. He's got 1 wound left.
Don't you do that at the start of combat?
No, choose it.
Whoa.
And
He's bluffing.
and the other shark
Shark shit, per shark.
did nothing at all.
Imagine.
So would you like to do this Achillean King?
Bloody word. He
Right.
wants to pick himself up, isn't he?
3 attack standard plus.
4 on each weapon.
Fucking hell, that's too many. That's too many.
That's 4 up. Go on, lad.
Meg, as much as I value your teammate, I'm gonna bloody reroll it.
Did you apply the -1 to wound on it? Did you do the -1 to wound? Great. Kill my Phoenix.
So the one Achillean King wiping killing the Phoenix.
Right, so it's 4 plus 2.
Straight through. How much damage?
3 damage each on the charge.
So 12 damage.
Go on!
Do they have a 5 up ignore or a 6 up ignore at the moment? 5 up. So you're looking for 5 up on 12 dice.
12 5-ups.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yes!
So 8 of your witch elves die.
Fucking kill him.
Was that the
3.
Stop. And then D3 on the charge. More wounds because I've charged you. Plus 3.
Well, that's not 2
More
up, is
wounds.
it? It's not 2 up, is it?
2 up. Okay, yeah.
I'm going to 2 up to a Phoenix.
That's what?
So how many more die?
Oh, and then
I had to roll a 3 up and I got 5. And then I rolled 1 more wound.
4 up, 4 up.
So how many mortal wounds on there? 1. So 1 5 up there. Saved.
Right, so then I've got plus 4 attacks. So I've got another 7 attacks with the tail.
Turn 3 is fun.
Do you want to roll for those 2 eels into the heart? Yeah, yeah.
We might not charge them.
3 to 3s again.
I'm doing a lot of work here. Let's fucking do it.
3 and no rent. Onto this guy.
2 at no rend on the 6 up.
How much damage?
1.
1 so far.
Yeah.
Fucking out you over the table.
What damage? What damage?
2 damage.
No.
2d3.
2 dice or not.
1.
Any rend?
6 up.
I don't know how many have died. Where's the rest?
2 died from
So that was 2 wounds.
that. 2 wounds off.
Yeah. How many wounds?
Is that mine?
1 each. Yes, it is.
They have a shape. Yes, they went. Oh, you don't remember that?
Cool. Yeah. So, and then now it's the
I can do a shot
all of
into a wizard.
yeah. So into your wizard. Paul, do you want to roll for your heart renders into those 2 eels? if you roll it with set. So heart renders attacking the eels. And having a look at the way the battle has planned out, the Ideneth have piled in and taken all of the objectives, and they actually had a quick discussion, decided that they're going to call it there. So they're rolling out the last few dice rolls, but there we see the Ideneth Deepkin taking the thing. And that was the end of the first day at Chrimbobo. And that last game depicting on how a lot of the teams will come and play this, looking for just having a good time, dressing up in their cosplay outfits, and there we go. So we'll see you again tomorrow morning from about 10 o'clock. Probably not on the dot, because I think we're going to find a few sore heads here. And good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.